Hi ReVamp mommies and friends, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you 6 things that I do that makes my life easier. Yes, I think this idea came to mind earlier this week. I was just, taking care of my normal things around the house, and I just had a quick thought that came like, hey, this is probably something good to share and get out and help to encourage other moms or even other friends who watch this channel. And so I decided to write down just 6 things. It does not mean that there aren't other things that I do, but I believe that these are 6 very strong things that I do and I implement in my home to really just help make my life easier. And so today I wanted to share those things with you. Before we get into these, I do want to say that what I list is something that I try to do on a daily basis. However, life happens, schedules change, things come up, and so there are times where I may not be able to implement all of these things, but these are some things that I am very mindful of and I try to definitely do. Sometimes I may be lazy where I don't want to do it, and there are times where I have to push myself and make myself do these things because I know down the road that it's going to benefit me as well as my family. So let's get right into it. I meal plan. Now, I was really doing this heavily before we moved from Richmond, Virginia to Charlotte. But some through all the transitions and stuff, I haven't done it as detailed as I was doing it. However, I still try to make a meal plan for the next week. And so usually I do my grocery shopping on a Saturday, between like Friday and Saturday. It really depends on how I feel. And so I usually try to have a grocery list established or a meal plan of what I'm going to cook for the following week. I know some people, they plan out their meals like 2 weeks ahead, but for me and my family, it just works to do I grocery shop every week. And so with that, I try to plan out the meals that I want to cook for that week, which then helps to cut down on trying to eat out, or just being overwhelmed with, okay, what am I going to cook? I already know. And so that just makes my life so much easier when I meal plan. I also use like Pinterest. I use an app called All Recipes. And so in there, I store recipes, even just things that I desire to cook or eventually want to cook. And so I have that to go back to look at, to say, okay, yeah, I did want to try this, or oh yeah, I want to make this. And so I have those things, and that makes it easier for me whenever I get ready to do my meal planning. So along with meal planning, the second thing that I do to make my life easier is just basically write notes in my phone for my groceries for the week. So say for example, if I'm cooking something, or in the present week, if I'm cooking something or if we run out of something, I already know I need to add that to my grocery list for next week. Because sometimes you just get so busy, and then when it's time to do your grocery list, you're like, okay, what did I knew it was something that I needed to add to the list, and you forget. But for me, most of us will have our phone handy, and so with that, I stop kind of in that moment when I realize that, okay, we're out of this, we need this for next week. I go ahead and I put it in my notes in my phone. That way I don't have to try to think about it when it's time to actually go to the grocery store, or when it's, I try to make my overall grocery list. I already know that that's been added to it, and I don't have to think about it. So that makes my life a lot easier. So it's just one less thing I have to worry about when it comes to grocery lists and grocery shopping and all of that stuff. We're still on the subject of cooking, and it's funny because a lot of this is, a lot of the first 2 tips kind of dealt with like food and all of that stuff, because of course, some husbands may cook, but for me, in my household, I'm the cook, and so I have to think about this type of stuff. What is my family going to eat for dinner? What are we going to have for breakfast, and all of this type of stuff. So with that being said, when I'm actually in the kitchen cooking, something that I do to make my life easier is clean as I go. I usually start with a clean kitchen. That means that there are no dishes in the sink, there are no dishes in the dishwasher. Everything is already clean. And so that way, the new stuff or the dishes that I'm going to use for cooking, I can just easily put them in the dishwasher. I know some people don't use the dishwasher, but I'm a dishwasher girl. I really don't like washing dishes, truth be told. but I usually just add those to, you know, the dirty dishes as I'm cleaning, as I'm cooking. I'm cleaning, you know, once I'm finished with the pot, you know, if something is still on the stove cooking, I go ahead and rinse whatever else is dirty and put it in the dishwasher and keep on cooking. And so by the time dinner is ready, there's really not much to clean. And so that really just helps me out a lot. It makes it easier for me. Thankfully, my husband does not mind helping with the dishes, and so most of the time when we're finished eating dinner, he'll take the last few dishes, of course our plates and silverware and cups, and he'll add them on to the dishwasher. So it just really helps to clean as I go, to start with a fresh, clean kitchen when I'm cooking, because it can get a little bit overwhelming when you already have so many dishes like piled on top of each other, or the dishwasher is already full and you got more dishes added to the pile, and it can be a bit overwhelming. And so that's something that I know that really makes my life easier. Something else that I do that makes my life easier is use a calendar. And I use the calendar on my phone. I'm able to go in there and put in notes and appointments and stuff like that. I tried the calendar, the paper, you know, the books, the planners and all of that, but I found that my phone, it works for me because I always have it in my hand. You know, I'm always, it's close by. So I usually use my calendar in my phone, and my husband and I, we actually synced our calendars to an email, so we know that this is our family calendar. We know appointments, we know events, we just put everything in that calendar, so he knows what I have going on, I know what he has going on, and there's no confusion. So it definitely helps to make our life easier. Yeah, just a simple calendar on the phone, put everything on there, and good to go. I try to think ahead for me and my family. If I know that we have something coming up, in which the calendar comes in handy for that, to let me know what's ahead, or if there are things that I want to do with my family, plans and, you know, activities and stuff like that. I try to think ahead about those things, because sometimes we wait till the last minute, and well, for me, I can't speak for you, but I know for myself, if I don't think ahead, I wait to the last minute and it either does not happen, or it happens and it's not how I really desire for it to, you know, happen. And so, I mean, that could mean for like family photo shoots, that could be for events and activities that I want to do with my family. And so, of course, not only planning and thinking ahead helps, you know, to just keep things in order, but it also helps with the finances, because now you already know that I'm planning for this, so I know I need to make sure that I have this allocated for that. And so it just really helps to make life easier when you can kind of think ahead for your family and say, okay, I know in this month, you know, I want to do this with my children, or in this month, you know, me and hubby want to, you know, go on a date or go plan our vacation, you know, just trying to think about those things and not just get so caught up in, you know, just your daily routine, but kind of seeing far out a little bit. Okay, I know in this month, you know, this is happening, and so I want to make sure we do this. So for example, we are due to have our baby in April, and Taylor's birthday is in June. So of course, it would be great to give her a birthday party, but I understand the circumstance with having a newborn and just juggling life and getting adjusted to just 2 kids and stuff. But knowing that I still want to do something for her, I'm already thinking ahead of what I want to do. And so I've got some ideas, already put some dates in my calendar for her, and already talked to hubby about it. And so that's just really kind of making life easier. And so there are so many different things that I desire to do for my family, to just enjoy our life and just be able to, you know, not just be so caught up in just the daily routine. And so I think ahead about all of those type of things. I try to tidy up so things won't get too out of hand. Now, granted, I'm not able to just clean up and keep a house so spick and span and sparkling all the time, but something that I do, if we're finishing one area, I try to pick up that area before we move to another area, especially even with my daughter. I try to even implement that with her and her toys. You know, I let her be a kid. I let her pull out anything that she wants to pull out, but I also am teaching her, okay, once you're done playing with this, let's put this up and then we can play with that. And so as for adults, we have to do the same thing, you know, and so that's something that I try to do, is just make sure that, okay, once I'm finished with this particular area, let me go ahead and clean this up. Sometimes I have to push myself to do it a little bit more. Sometimes I have a burst of energy where I don't mind taking care of it, but I try to keep a tidy home. You know, if there's like little bits and pieces of just things just lying around, if I know I'm going upstairs, then I might as well go ahead and grab those things that belong upstairs and go ahead and take them upstairs, and not try to, and not just leave them and say, oh well, I'll get them later. But I'm already kind of thinking of like, hey, I know that this don't belong here, so let me go ahead and grab this. And especially being pregnant now, I'm gonna tell you, I don't like going up and down the stairs. So everything that needs to come upstairs, I make it work some type of way, and just kind of plan out, okay, my steps are valuable right now, my legs are valuable, so I don't want to have to keep making trips up and down the stairs to put things up and clean things up. So I just try to clean and tidy up things here and there. That way things just won't get overwhelming in the home. There won't be just stuff everywhere, and like I said, sometimes things happen like that, but I still try to, you know, pick up behind myself. I try to encourage my family to do the same thing, but I love to try to keep a tidy house, keep it as tidy as I can, and so that helps to make my life easier when, you know, it's not just a lot of clutter everywhere. And I've seen the effects of just doing that and just my house kind of being neat and in order. So that's another thing that I do, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. These are just some things that I found that works for me, that helps to make my life easier, and hopefully that helped you and encouraged you. If so, drop a comment in the box below. If you have not already subscribed to ReVamp Mommy channel, make sure that you do so, and until next time, make sure that you keep the ReVamp going. Bye!